We're in Brighton today. Do you like the look of it? It's gorgeous, isn't it? As I often say here on the show, nice bit of free vitamin D. There's nothing like it, is it? We'll just quickly turn it round so you can see. There we are. You see, this is all real. That's right, yeah. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? The English Channel. And of course, Brighton is known as the Regency Town. Wonderful place, and we're just here filming because we're actually, well, there's a lot of politics going on. We won't bore you with that, you know what it's like. But what I wanted to share with you today, actually, is a wonderful story that came to me by interviewing a fellow actor, a thespian as they call them. And it was all about a relationship between two major people that you wouldn't think really had that very special relationship. One, a Hollywood superstar, a British icon, and really creating an iconic role in one of the most amazing films of, well, the film industry. And a man, somebody that our late and wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, said she couldn't have completed a reign without his sage guidance. You know who that is, of course. Let me explain. Nice to see you. Thank you ever so much for joining. We'll have a quick wave in this gorgeous sea air. It's nice, isn't it? You know what they say about sea air, don't you? Of course, you do. And apparently it's supposed to invigorate you. And really the royals made this town, you know, famous for that, because once the Regency set started coming down to take the waters, this was all about how really, you know, you were supposed to be invigorated and full of health. Yes, well, it's worked on me, hasn't it? I've only been here a bit, and you can see completely different person. Now, somebody, as I say, who you might think has had a strange relationship in some respects is none other than the former British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Sir Winston Churchill. You know, his statue stands proud in the very sort of centre of Parliament, and you know, it's a wonderful thing to be able to look at his statue, because when you look at the old footage, you see Sir Winston walking from Downing Street to Parliament. No security, no outriders, just a man on a mission to literally change the world. As I said, our wonderful monarch, the late Queen Elizabeth, basically said that she owed him so much at the start of her reign because it is said he was one of her favourite prime ministers. And she had quite a few, as we all know, in that marvellous 70-year reign. The friend, though, was this particular actress, none other than the Gone with the Wind star, Vivien Leigh, who, of course, created an iconic role in the movie Gone with the Wind, playing opposite Clark Gable. Now, I don't know if you know this, but basically they gave the role to Vivien simply because, yes, she was a good actress, but more importantly, she was a lot cheaper than a lot of the other actresses that were testing out. You know, the likes of Paulette Goddard and Joan Crawford. But it was a great reality TV fest, wasn't it? Just sort of make them feel, you know, that everybody was going to be looking and could they possibly get the role. Now, Vivien Leigh truly made the role her own. Particular friendship actually started all thanks to the fact that the very emotional British Prime Minister Winston went to see the brilliant Vivien Leigh in a West End play alongside her then husband, Sir Laurence Olivier. Now, they have a connection to this particular town, the Regency town of beautiful Brighton, simply because, of course, they used to live here and travel up and down on what they called the Brighton Express. That's right, apparently you could see all the thespians, the greats of the day, like Sir Terence Rattigan, who also lived down here for a period as well, literally back and forth. Apparently you could see all the stars that you needed on this one train. So what do Vivien Leigh and Winston Churchill have in common? Well, their relationship blossomed over the years, and she really loved his sage advice, a little bit like Queen Elizabeth. And what happened was a series of pen pals developed, so much so that actually he gave her a writing bureau, which she took around with her. What I mean by that is a writing case. And he made sure that she was furnished with a very special pen, embossed, addressed envelopes, letterheads, all of that sort of stuff, and gave her a private tour of 10 Downing Street, as you can imagine. Now, people might speculate and say, what was it about? The simple fact was that Sir Winston really loved theatrical people, and she was able to convey exactly the message that she was trying to get across on a stage. Sir Winston drew a lot from this, from his own personal appearances and radio broadcasts, and they became good friends right until, sadly, his passing in 1965. Vivien, as you know, was bereft and beset by all sorts of medical problems and personal issues. Sadly, she died just a mere 2 years later, still looking radiant and beautiful as she had all of those years ago. And it's interesting to think, isn't it, as this colleague told me, it was a relationship that not many people know about, but behind the scenes he was guiding her, particularly after the demise of her marriage for, of course, and to Sir Laurence. She never quite got over that, but apparently Winston helped her see the light on occasions. Always lovely to share these wonderful heartwarming stories, particularly when you're in the town of beautiful Brighton. Neil Sean in the very heart of Brighton.